Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the magic and the mystery of the star tetrahedron. I wanted to share tonight some validation of some things that uphold our work about the star tetrahedron and what it really means. One of the things is, first off, the image of a crop circle. We all know about the crop circles and how magnificent they are. Well, this is a star tetrahedron. So perfectly formed. The interwoven triangulations of upper apex divine power and lower apex divine love. And in this counter rotation, of course, it opens the sacred doorway within the middle. And you can see if you connect some of the points within the interior, it then creates a box, the four-sided box, if you will. So a lot of sacred geometry exists within the star tetrahedron. I also want to share just some information. There's a close-up. Hi, folks. What?
You're still close up. Did you want
to? So if you remember, we talked about how the soul, as it weaves its way down through time, space, through the three-dimensional world, it gathers over many lifetimes the information about power and how it has been used both as the positive of dynamic action as well as the negative of manipulation, control, suppression. And then we talked about how then the divine feminine of love has also been part of our gathering information about love, which is either self-love, and when self-love is finally established, we then begin to unconditionally love all things. And then our love is then the divine love. And up to that time, we learn about love through emotion, through what is not love, what is not the truth, the joy, which creates then fear and sadness and loneliness and all the emotions. But then refined, they become the profoundness of love. And over time, the soul, by gathering all that information, finally begins to collapse it into a crystalline structure, which is the star tetrahedron. All that is of divine power is honed into a crystalline form, the triangulation, and all of divine love is then honed into a triangulation that creates the star tetrahedron. So this is from the website, the Ascension UK. It says, the soul is an extension of your God self, which we well know. The soul is neither spirit nor matter. It is a crystalline, sacred fire, memory, seed, atom, a fragment of pure light essence that is programmed to record your journey through the three-dimensional world. It is the link between you, the mighty higher fragments of your higher self, and ultimately your God self. Your personal soul self for this lifetime resides within your sacred heart as a facet of your diamond core God cell. A cell of soul consciousness also resides within the pineal gland, which is why we focus the light of the pineal gland, divine power, down to the heart chakra, divine love, and we take the crystalline structure of the diamond and we hone it into the awakened star tetrahedron. You were programmed to forever seek the sacred heart of your essence, your diamond core God cell, and your crystalline seed atom of creator essence. How absolutely beautiful. Again, the validation of our work. This is taken from some information from out of Egypt, where, of course, the star tetrahedron was well known. It's been passed down through time, space, through many civilizations. The star tetrahedron, better known as the Merkaba, is composed of two opposing tetrahedrons that are spinning in opposite directions, which we well know. In ancient Egypt, the word Merkaba referred to a rotating light that would take the spirit and the body from one world into another. In Hebrew, it means chariot of God. In the Bible, it is the way that Elijah ascended into the heavens. And so when Elijah ascended into the heavens, it was on chariots of fire. Well, of course, as the star tetrahedron is turning and then spinning off the golden liquid light from it, of course, it looks like fiery wheels of chariot. The word Merkaba means the spirit body surrounded by counter-rotating fields of light, and is considered to be a light vehicle for space-time dimensional travel. It is the vehicle of ascension, designed to transition you to light body, to assist in the attainment of higher levels of consciousness, and to travel or transition between dimensions and realities. And of course, we know this to be true. But as we finally begin to hone and refine the star tetrahedron, we don't really leave the body and go to other dimensions. As we open the doorway and we become one with Source and its infinite realities in our consciousness, you see, we can then simply know those time, space, places. It's much like a computer. When you go on a computer, you simply type in an internet address, and the information, the magnificence of what you're looking for, it simply downloads onto the computer screen. Well, it's the same way with the star tetrahedron and the open doorway. Once the open doorway is there, that is esoterically your computer screen, upon which you simply decide to see and observe something, and then from out of time space, it simply downloads into your consciousness. And in that moment, you see, we are then everywhere present throughout all time space. There no longer is a here or a there. There simply is one universal reality, God's source, that you now live within that ocean. And as you decide to see that ocean esoterically, it simply comes to you and you observe it. So in a way, it is esoterically traveling through time space. But more importantly, the star tetrahedron does actually then begin to create the light body. And as we have talked about over and over, the light body is the new wave of evolution for humanity. That to save the world and to save humanity, we must be able to bring the body into light activation, be able to make full union with the divine self, and thus we become as the Christed one. Not Jesus, he was the Christed one, but our own individual Christedness that then emanates liquid golden light from us, just as the man Jesus did, as well as others. And then together, we then create a living grid of light across the world that then begins to call humanity up. And so we're no longer trying to change the world so much, but we're changing a level of light activation that simply invites people into a new perception. New perception. The other really interesting aspect of the star tetrahedron this is an image of an embryo. So let me explain that. After fertilization occurs in a living being, the fertilized egg divides to form two cells. Then the cells divide again, going from 2 to 4 in a binary sequence, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, etc. The first 4 cells form a tetrahedron in a sphere, and the apex of this tetrahedron points either to the North Pole or the South Pole, which probably determines the gender. Next, the cells divide into 8. They now form one tetrahedron facing up and one tetrahedron facing down, a star tetrahedron in a sphere. This is called the egg of life. Every single life on Earth must pass through the egg of life stage, the star tetrahedron. So as you can see, our work is being validated in all aspects of creation. At the very finest and the very beginning of life is the star tetrahedron. All around the planets, there's a star tetrahedron. Every sphere, every human thing is at its core a star tetrahedron. And it's not a solid structure, it is a structure of consciousness and light that holds the perfect pattern for the unfolding of that particular life form. And as we then finally collapse the soul esoterically, gather it together in a crystalline structure, it's just like a crystal that grows in the earth. It begins in an unformed, chaotic way. And over time, chaos grows into a perfect, formed, crystalline structure. As we would hold this in the sunlight, you see, and light pass through, we would then see the rainbow array of life and color around it. And so this is exactly the same with our work as we create the star tetrahedron. And we open the sacred doorway within the middle, and spirit, like a living stream, flows forth. It automatically flows forth. And as it touches the facets of this crystalline light structure, it spins out a holographic light wave that we then, with divine mind, can then begin to gather all that together into manifestation. So this again is the new way of humanity. The star tetrahedron is enlightenment, the light body. When it is formulated, just like the great individual Jesus, the manifestation of loaves and fishes, the healing and the calling of the dead back to life, is part of what the Christ is, the master over three-dimensional reality. So this is the glory and the magic and manifestation of the star. So before we always begin our star tetrahedron meditation, which I will take you through sequentially, we always like to do the so-hum breath, which is really a very important part of our meditation, because as we begin the in-breath, the so, we are imagining the open doorway within the center of the chest. This is what that doorway esoterically looks like. A great open round circle, and from out of it, spirit streams forth 360 degrees as a living water. That's when it touches the facets of the star tetrahedron, the Christ wave, and it then becomes living light from you. So as we begin the so-hum breath, the so is then the summoning of spirit from inside out. Not only are we breathing oxygen, but equally important, we are bringing our consciousness to be equally focused upon breath coming or the water coming from the open heart. So that's the so. Very slow, deep in breath. At the top of the in-breath, pause for a couple of counts. And as you then exhale the hum, you are watching the golden liquid sunlight shine from you. Hold for a couple of counts, and once again, in-breath. As you well know, it's a very deep in-breath, belly breathing. With the diaphragm going down, the belly goes out, and we fill the lower part of the body with the breath. Up to the chest, filling the upper part of the glass, holding. Exhaling, the upper part of the glass empties the breath. Down to the belly as it then comes in, all of the breath, the glass empty. Hold, and once again, so hum, breath. In all of our work, we want the spine to be highly straight and erect, very straight, because the upper apex of the star tetrahedron is the top of the spinal column. The lower part of the star tetrahedron is the coccyx at the base of the spine. And there is then a tube of light that goes right up through the middle of the spine, the oneness of source. And as we're then in this exact alignment, all of the energies of the body can flow effortlessly and easily. So let's go ahead and begin the so hum breath for about 5 minutes. Spine erect, sitting quietly. I always do the so hum breath with eyes open, as you well know. It allows me to garden, to travel, to go everywhere in so hum breath. And then very easily down. Slowly coming back into the now. One thing I'd like to share with you about working with the star tetrahedron is we have to be very watchful that there is no sense of trying. I'm not trying to make the star tetrahedron turn. I'm not bringing any tension to it because it then creates a stress and tension within the head, the neck, the body. It is simply about focusing light, consciousness, attention, and seeing the star tetrahedron, and then simply seeing it turn. If we're bringing a sense of trying to see it, again, that's when it brings tension to the body and then can cause structures that really don't feel so good in the body. At the same time, when we then open the door, we simply see the door open. And from it, we simply see and observe the liquid source of the spring water flowing forth. And we see it touching the facets of the star tetrahedron. And just like a light bulb, just like the sun, we see ourselves light up. So again, no tension, no focus, a focus, but not a sense of trying. Simply very clear, holding, and seeing. One of the things I like to do, if you would imagine now that here's my hand, you didn't try to see it, you simply decided to see it. Well, it's the same way. We're simply learning to hold the mind very steady, which increases the light of the mind. As we're holding the mind steady, we simply see the star tetrahedron ever more clearly, the doorway ever more magnificently, and over time it actually becomes a living life wave around us. We've created it by seeing and feeling to make it so. It's the way the whole universe is created. Source simply sees it, feel it, holds the image, it becomes manifest. God's not out there trying. It's simply a being. So the star tetrahedron meditation, again, a very simple meditation in one sense, and then we simply learn to bring attention between the eyebrows, and as we draw a line straight back to the approximate pineal gland, we then simply see and ignite with imagination electric blue light. And as we hold attention here, we observe, see the light increasing. We see it filling the mind and filling the brain. The waters of the brain, we see them as beautiful electric blue waters. We then focus our attention down to the heart chakra, and we then imagine the star tetrahedron. Again, whatever size you choose. I like to see the star tetrahedron from the coccyx at the base of the spine to the pineal gland at the top of the head. And then as the star tetrahedron is then turning, upper triangulation turning left to right clockwise, we don't try and make a turn, we simply see it, see it, see it. Lower triangulation turning right to left counterclockwise. And then as it turns, these counter-rotating triangles then open the magnificent doorway back into the realms of spirit. And now the infinite void is our doorway. All that we would choose to see within the doorway, as we choose it, it comes from out of the internet of God's living light upon the computer screen of our reality. And thus we travel throughout all dimensions by simply honing and refining the living star. So I'm going to take you to the full formulation of the star tetrahedron, and we will meditate for approximately 30, maybe 35 minutes. Again, spine nice and erect. We can also do the Soham breath during the meditation, which keeps the mind focused and our attention on the open doorway. So let's begin. We can begin with the breath and feel the body relaxing. Feel the shoulders down. With the breath, the body is relaxed. We're letting go. Bringing attention between the eyebrows. Drawing a line straight back, the approximate center point of the head, we ignite the electric blue light of divine mind. By holding attention here, we observe the electric blue light increasing, and we allow it to fill the mind and to fill the brain. Divine mind, electric blue light. We bring our attention to the heart chakra at the sternum, where we imagine and feel the star tetrahedron in front, in back, all around. Upper triangulation, divine power turns left to right clockwise. Lower triangulation, right to left counterclockwise. And the sacred doorway opens within the middle of the chest, within the heart, and spirit streams forth as a living spring. Purity of spirit touches the facets of the living star and spins out sunlight and life. I am the light body, the crystalline structure, light I am. I will join with you and gather all of us into a cohesive light wave that magnifies all of our energy. And very easily, slowly coming back into the now. When the star tetrahedron is formulated, and of course, divine power and divine love are unified, this is the mystical marriage that has been spoken of down through history. And it opens the sacred doorway within the middle of the heart. This is Aladdin's lamp. It is magic. And so, whatever you decide to see as the living water arises forth, that is your becoming. That is who you will be. Through Aladdin's lamp, the flow of divine source, if you see that I am not creative, that will be so. If you say I am not prosperous, or you feel I am not prosperous, that will be so. If you feel I am prosperous, I see divine manna flowing from on high, from out of the open doorway, spilling into the world that I live within, attracting back to me with grace and ease all that is prosperous, it will be so. Through the doorway of Aladdin's lamp, if you say, I don't feel well, so be it. It will be so. And so, with the open doorway, it becomes ever more important, you see, that we be very watchful of our thoughts, of our feelings, because we're moving to magnificent creation. It has always been this way, whatever we saw and believed, it happened. But before, it took a lot of seeing, a lot of believing, a lot of feeling to make it so. And so you could say, I would like to have prosperity. I would like to be wealthy. I would like to have fine things. And it took a lot of efforting and doing and making, which was fine. That's part of the program for what humanity was. At the same time, in the past, when you said, I'm not feeling very well, relationships don't flow to me, things aren't very good, over time, you made it so. And then finally, dis-ease outwardly and dis-ease within the body began to manifest. And the disease is in simply showing you that your thoughts and your feelings have not been aligned with the great being of light that you truly are. And so it's a correction. There's never been anything wrong ever in your life. There's never been a mistake. It's simply been a correction. The word sin simply means missed mark. If you have a bullseye and you're shooting an arrow, if you don't hit the bullseye, you miss the mark. And so you simply correct your vision. As you correct your vision, you once again see the bullseye of my choices, my feelings, my desires, and you hold steady with the mind. And as you simply see it, you're on the mark. It will be so. And so it's very, very exciting, you see, that we're moving into this place of dynamic manifestation. But with the Soham breath, you can be more watchful of your thoughts throughout the day. And if a negative emotion or a negative feeling arises forth, don't dislike it, don't judge it. If you judge it, once again, you're giving your focus of attention to self-judgment, which would then simply invite more things in your life for self-judgment. Simply turn your attention away to the Soham breath. And with the breath, once again, see and feel the open doorway, Aladdin's lamp arising forth. The sacred genie that is you, that is I, that is the oneness with God's source. And as that sacred mist arises forth, you simply now see, what will I be? And so this is the beauty of the star tetrahedron. As it opens in our meditation, you simply sit quietly. You continue to see and feel the movement of the star tetrahedron. And over time, you become so precise and so impeccable that, like the man Jesus, you finally become the living manifestation of the Christ mechanism. And the great divine mind, the great being you are, uses the sacred diamond jewel to simply summon spirit. See what through Alad's lamp you would be, and it shall be so. It shall be so. This is where the word then, Amen, comes in. Amen. It shall be so. Amen. It shall be so. So anything that has come up, Dorothy? Well, quite a magnificent meditation and gathering today. Be more watchful of simply seeing and not trying. And once the open doorway is there, simply then you are seeing the great being you are, already seeing the magnificent God, goddess that exists, stepping through the void. And as you see it over and over and over, you must become it. You are the creator of your reality. You are God. Now you are learning what the mechanism does when you simply open the doorway. You see, you feel, God, I am. That is truth. I can't thank you enough for being with me today. It magnifies my light. I magnify your light. We increase the light on the planet. God bless you all. Amen.